Gosh, wouldn't it be great if there was a way to play just about any song with the chords that you already know? But there are 12 major keys. Some are more common than others, but you're likely to run into pretty much all of them at some point. If you wanted to be able to play in any key at the drop of a hat, you'd have to know all 24 major and minor chords. While we will get there eventually, it doesn't have to be today, because you can already play in any key using the chords you already know.
Stop it. Get some help.
All you need is a capo. A capo is basically a way of shortening the neck of your guitar and raising where the first fret is. Placing a capo on your strings raises the pitch of all the strings on your guitar at once. If I strum an open E major chord, it's just an E major chord. But if I put the capo here on the first fret, and then I strum that same E major shape, it's raised the pitch of everything by a half step. That means even though I'm playing the shape of an E major chord, I'm actually playing the notes of an F major chord. If I put the capo on the second fret and strum that E major chord shape, I'm now playing the notes of an F sharp major chord. And this continues up the neck. So let's say I want to play the song, Lord, I Need You. Well, that song is in the key of A, but we don't know the key of A. However, A is only 2 half steps above G, and I do know the key of G. So to go from G to A, we just move up 2 half steps, meaning that we can put the capo here on the second fret, and now when I strum a G chord shape, it's actually the notes of an A chord. I can play the whole song with my G shapes, but actually be playing in the key of A. This is called transposition. Transposition is when you take all of the notes or chords in a key and shift them up or down equally to play them in a different key. In our case, we're transposing the chords we know up or down to whatever our target key is. We know the chords in the key of G and in the key of C. We already know that we can play the key of A by playing G shapes raised by 2 half steps with a capo. What about the key of E as another example? Well, we can't drop the G any lower without detuning our guitar way down. So what if we move up from the key of C instead? C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. E is 4 half steps above C. So if I put the capo on the 4th fret and I play C shapes, I'm now playing in the key of E. If you have a song you want to play, find out what key it's in and then determine how many half steps that key is above C or above G. Whichever it's closer to is the key shapes you should use. So as a general rule of thumb, for the keys of G through B, you would want to play with G shapes. For C through F sharp, you would want to play with C shapes. Alternatively, here on the Worship Initiative, we have a helpful diagram on every song page that will tell you where to put your capo depending on what key you want to play in. And just like that, you've unlocked every key. Before we wrap up this lesson, I do have 3 practical tips on how to properly use a capo. First, be sure you place it firmly on the fret, close to the next fret up, like this. You don't want it to be too far back, and you don't want it to be right in the middle. You want it right up against the fret that you're trying to clamp it onto. Second, make sure that it's flat. Sometimes you might be pressing down too hard on the top string or too hard on the low string. And if you don't put it on correctly, you might have some of the notes ringing out, but others might not be. So make sure that it's pressing down equally on all of the strings at once. Lastly, you'll want to check your tuning when you put the capo on. Putting on a capo can throw your guitar's tuning off a little bit. So if you know you're going to be playing with a capo, it's a good idea to put the capo on and then check your guitar tuning again to be sure you're properly in tune. Be sure to take note of those 3 things when you use a capo and you'll be good to go.